We can cross now to Rome to speak to our correspondent there, Seema Gupta. Seema, hearing there this will to avoid another nationwide lockdown, but tell us a bit about what the measures, the restrictions that have been put in place are.
Yes, Eve. I mean, we saw in that statement by the Prime Minister, and very clearly he described the situation as being critical. And so these new measures in place. Now, one of the major ones is that local mayors will be given the powers to shut piazzas or other public spaces from 9 p.m. onwards. Schools, they're particularly looking at high schools, older students. They'll have a starting time a little later, and they will be encouraged to do more distance learning. Bars and restaurants are only open till midnight, and from 6 p.m. onwards, it will have to be table service, and groups restricted to no more than 6. Gyms and pools, these particular areas, these sporting arenas, if you like, they'll be given an additional week to further check in on their security protocols, whether they're really in place, and then a further decision will be made. Now, some have said these measures really are just tweaks and small changes, and they're not major changes enough. And you have the Association of Mayors here in Italy saying that they've put all the responsibility on us. How are we going to enforce these changes if we do indeed close those piazzas? So we'll have to see how these measures kick into place and whether it really will have an impact in terms of the number of new cases that we've been seeing in terms of record numbers in recent days.
Indeed, Seema, tell us a bit more about that side of the story. You know, we're being told it's reaching a critical level, but what are the number of cases looking like, and indeed how are people reacting to this announcement of new measures?
Well, you have this situation just across the last 24 hours. On Sunday, 11,705 new cases, even though there were fewer swabs or tests carried out as compared to the day before. But every day we're seeing a daily record. It's important to note, I think the real figure to look at is the number of admissions into the intensive care. In the last 24 hours, an increase of 45. We're now looking at 750 people admitted for COVID-19 into intensive care, and more than 7,000 hospitalizations due to that. So there's a concern of the impact that will have on the health services. For the moment, it's manageable, but the health authorities are saying the situation is acute, particularly in Milan and also in Naples in the south. In that region in particular, they've closed schools altogether. The governor there making that decision to close schools for 2 weeks, and they've warned that the situation could potentially get acute here in Rome as well. The concern is that we're not really in the full winter yet in terms of the cold. It's still only autumn, and you're going to see more cases of colds and flus and confusion with COVID-19. So therefore, it really is a situation of concern, and the authorities are monitoring those numbers very closely.
Seema, thanks a lot for that. Seema Gupta there, our correspondent in Rome.